Good morning, and thank you for joining us on FRHSTV at home. I'm Tim Quinn.
And I'm Ryan Lucht.
Ryan, unfortunately, today is the final day of FRHSTV at home.
Yes, but we do have some fantastic stories to get into on this final edition of the show, including interviews with Mr. Suvak, Mr. Pollock, and the big return of Fun Friday.
Indeed, and we also have segments with our own Brian Pampina, Braden O'Brien, Hamza Malik, and my beautiful co-anchor here, Ryan Lucht.
Oh, thank you so much. So stick around because the final edition of FRHS TV at home is going to be one to remember.
That's right. A ton to look forward to later on in the show. But for now, this is the news. Seniors have been anxiously waiting for news about graduation. The high school is asking the community to show their support for the class of 2020 by decorating their porches, turning on their porch lights, and posting congratulatory messages on Friday, June 5th. The FR class of 2020 members and their families will be participating in the celebration of our seniors, a police-escorted vehicle parade beginning at 6:30 p.m. on the day. The parade route will start at Mother of Sorrows Church, proceed east on Old William Penn Highway, and turn on School Road. The parade route will then snake through the FR campus and conclude at the campus exit by the FRSD Marquez sign. The graduates are also encouraged to decorate their vehicles for the parade. The FRSD campus will be closed to the public, and spectators may sit or stand along the main streets of the parade route to cheer on our seniors. All spectators are strongly encouraged to practice social distancing and wear their masks. To find out more, our own Olivia Ciotti recently sat down with the principal, Mr. Suvak, to ask him a few questions.
Hello, I'm here with Mr. Suvak to talk about some of the upcoming events and important information about the end of the school year. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Suvak.
Absolutely. Good to be here, Olivia.
So the big thing on everyone's mind, especially the seniors, is graduation. I know you have some new information about what that will look like taking place this year. Can you tell us plans about that the school is making?
Well, right now we have a big celebration of our seniors parade planned for the original graduation date of June the 5th. That's going to be hopefully a really fun event. There's been groups of teachers and staff members working hard to plan that event, and looking forward to a lot of sirens and horn honking and really celebrating the class of 2020. So that's going to happen on June the 5th. At some future date, there will be a formal commencement ceremony. That same group of folks is working hard to plan a variety of potential options depending on what we're allowed to do. But what I can say with certainty is that there will be some future formal commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. But as to what that looks like right now, we don't know yet because we're still in the planning phases of that.
Yeah. Okay. And are people allowed to be a part of this parade other than seniors? Can they watch at the school?
We would encourage people to come out and, again, properly social distance and following all the guidelines along the parade route, which will begin at Mother of Sorrows, come up Old William Penn Highway, turn on to School Road, and then head on to campus. As far as on campus goes, only district staff and the parade members themselves will be permitted on campus that evening. But there's a lot of places that people can safely watch and gather and celebrate our seniors along the parade route.
And I think you mentioned this in the other question, but you did say there is a formal ceremony planned for the seniors as well later on.
There will be some type of formal ceremony. We want to make that as much look like the ceremonies that our class of 2020 had been expecting to have as possible. Again, given the limitations of the CDC guidelines and the state. But we are still in the planning phases of a couple of different options for that. What I can say with certainty is that there will be some formal ceremony at a later date in the summer.
And for the underclassmen, what will the procedure for returning books and other items to the school or getting stuff out of lockers look like?
That's a great question. We have plans in place for that. It has not yet been publicly announced, but it will be soon, and certainly not a secret. Students will be asked to come in, return any district-issued materials, get items from their lockers that they may need, and then exit the building, again following CDC and Commonwealth guidelines. That's going to happen in staggered shifts beginning the week of June the 1st, and specific information will be coming out to families in the next week.
Okay. And finally, is there any news on what the start of next school year will look like? Is the school making any changes to how the school will operate?
Here's what I can tell you, Olivia. All of us associated with the school, as I'm sure all the students associated with the school, would love to open and do business as usual. We miss you. And in talking to students, I know that students miss their friends, they miss school, they miss all the things associated with being a high school student. So it remains all of our hope that we're able to go back to school in the fall. That being said, nobody knows for sure. And, we are planning for a bunch of different eventualities. But again, the day we are able to safely open and return to business as usual, or as what it used to be, that's what all of us want. At the same time, we're planning for other possibilities because we want to make sure that all of our kids get the education that they need and deserve.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to see the celebration on June 5th for the seniors. And now let's head back for the rest of the show.
Thank you, Olivia.
If you would like to have a work permit for next year, you are still able to apply during the school closure. Fill out the application online and scan it along with your birth certificate to Miss Courtnage at kcourtnage@frsd.k12.org. If you're looking for some new video games to play while you're still at home, our own Brian Pampina gives us a look at some new releases.
Hi, this is Brian coming to you with video game news. With many new video games launching this year, the most anticipated release is the Marvel's Avengers game, which will be released on September 4th, 2020. For years, Marvel's movies have dominated the box office. Despite that wild success in the theaters, Marvel has barely touched the world of video games until now. Marvel's Avengers, a newly detailed blockbuster video game starring the world-famous superhero squad. You will play as Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, the Hulk, or Captain America against the various supervillains. A few interesting facts about the game. You'll be able to play a lot of Marvel's Avengers as whichever superhero you choose. Just 5 superheroes have been announced thus far: the Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And a handful of other Marvel characters showed up in the recent trailer: Ant-Man, Abomination, and Taskmaster. And lastly, believe it or not, there is no connection between the Avengers game and the Avengers movies. Marvel Avengers can be played on different platforms including PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. For more information on the game, you can visit avengers.squareenixgames.com.
Thanks, Brian. Seniors, listen up. If you have received any scholarships from colleges or universities, whether you plan on attending the school or not, or if you've received individual or private scholarships, please send the information to Ms. Courtnage at the Counseling Center so that all scholarship offers can be included in the graduation program. Please include the name and the scholarship dollar amount. Individual amounts will not be printed, but will be included in the grand total of scholarship money offered to the class of 2020. And you'll want to do that soon because the deadline is today. Now, if you're ready for some new movies to be released, Ryan Lucht is here to tell you a few that you do not want to miss out on.
Hey guys, some movies are finally getting their summer releases instead of being released online. Some of these films were pushed back for months, but we are finally getting news that these films will be getting released in theaters. Some of the films getting released this year are Christopher Nolan's new film Tenet on July 17th, Disney's reboot Mulan on July 24th, the SpongeBob movie on August 7th, the Wonder Woman sequel, Wonder Woman 1984 on August 14th, Jordan Peele's Antebellum on August 21st, and Marvel's newest superhero film, The New Mutants, on August 28th. Many of the films from this list were supposed to be released earlier this year or were already set for summer releases. If these films do not get their theater releases, then it is likely they will be moved back to online streaming services. As of right now, the coronavirus is preventing theaters from opening back up, so hopefully we'll be able to see these films in theaters once the world goes back to normal. Now let's take it back to you guys to end the show. Any student who would like to participate in a project to help local residents in care facilities and nursing homes can now help with just a simple click. The art department is collecting photographs taken by students to distribute to local seniors. If you want to submit your photography, you can send pictures to Miss Mazina. This will also count toward volunteer hours. The deadline is today by 3 o'clock. The Franklin Regional Marching Band has always been known for its award-winning performances. One big reason for their amazing performances is band director Kevin Pollock. This year marks Mr. Pollock's final year of teaching as he is retiring. Our own Anthony DeFilippo recently had a chance to catch up with Mr. Pollock about his teaching career.
Hello, I'm here with Mr. Pollock, who has spent the past 33 years directing the award-winning Franklin Regional High School Marching Band. The band has won awards and has had the opportunity to march in some of the biggest parades in our nation, like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Rose Bowl Parade, and even the presidential inauguration. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Pollock.
Thank you.
In your time at Franklin, what was the best part about teaching for you?
I think my favorite part was just all the creative opportunities that I had to share with students and the staff and all of the other adults that contributed to the success that we had. It was all those creative opportunities that really made it a lot of fun for me.
Of all the events and awards that your band has won, what do you think stands out for you as your favorite?
That's a tough one to answer because every one of them is unique in its own way. But I really think that the Macy's parades were probably the most exciting, and that we got to do that parade 3 times. And it's just so exciting to be in New York on Thanksgiving Day, to be a part of that atmosphere. I think that's probably one of the most rewarding that we've done.
It seems like a lot of work to put together the award-winning shows that you performed each year. Was there one show in particular that was the most challenging?
I'd have to say, hands down, it would have been the Tournament of Roses appearances, because not only did we have to prepare for a 5.5-mile parade, we also had to do a field show, and not too many people are aware that you're responsible for 2 performances when you go out there. So on top of all of that, we had to fly everyone across the country, but our equipment, our uniforms, and instruments all went by truck. So there were a lot of moving parts to that trip, a lot of logistic issues. It was a great experience, but it was really very difficult and demanding too.
With the pandemic ending school abruptly, students and teachers didn't quite get to the end of the school year celebrations in. The same goes for you. Is there anything you want to share with your students that you may have not had the chance to do before school ended?
Well, I know that with the band, we had a great experience on Thanksgiving Day in the evening after our Thanksgiving dinner, and we had an opportunity to express our thanks and appreciation to one another. And now that we won't be together again, I really treasure that evening that we shared together. And my band students, I think, are all very aware of that. I've enjoyed all of my time with the orchestra students as well. We've made a lot of great memories together. I appreciate all of their hard work, dedication, the time, the patience that they've had with me. And I'd like to thank them for all that I've learned from them. It's been a great experience.
That's great. And finally, what is one thing that you're really looking forward to in retirement?
That would have to be, let me think about that. I know what the answer would be. I'm finally going to be able to go through a day without a bell schedule. That's going to be great. And I'm certainly looking forward to more time with my own family. I had a grandson, my first grandchild, just a year ago. And a month ago, my first granddaughter arrived. So I'm really looking forward to more time with family and friends and to be able to make my own schedule. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for joining us. You've been such a great part of the Franklin Regional family for so many years. We will certainly miss you and wish you the best at all the good things on the road ahead.
Thank you, Anthony.
Now let's head back to the anchors for the rest of the show.
Thank you so much, Anthony and Mr. Pollock. Mr. Pollock, we do wish you the best in retirement. WCCC summer courses are available and listed on the FRHS Counseling Corner webpage. You can check out all of the course offerings for enrolling in courses towards an associate's degree or to earn college credits. If you have questions, the counselors are available to help you through the process. You need to be enrolled by the end of May. Summer courses at WCCC begin on June 1st. Many musicians are finding new ways to reach their fans. Our own senior Hamza Malik tells us a little more in his music segment.
Thanks, guys. So Trey Songz admits that he wanted to sign Summer Walker but did not have the right info at first. Trey believes he missed out on a big opportunity during this interview with the Quicksilva. Trey reveals he heard Walker's hit Girls Need Love years before it came out and he was ready to give up to sign her, but he texted every producer out there that he knew to find out who the artist for Girls Need Love is, and later found out that it was Summer Walker, but was too late because at the time a lot of people would be recognizing her. In other news, Gunna's release of Wanna, a single and first half documentary ahead of his new album. Gunna is only few days away from releasing his single, which he'll be talking about his luxury lifestyle that he lives and prepared some luxurious visuals for the viewers. And lastly, Future is back on the scene and this time it's not just new music. He's been preparing something very important and collaborating with Travis Scott, and Hendrix commented on his creativity, saying, "Artistically, Travis, he's on another level. When it comes to being artistic and everything, like his whole vision being engaged, the artwork and just the core craft, he knows exactly what he's doing." That's all the news I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my last music segment. Peace.
Thanks, Hamza. Recently, students in the Unified Club asked others at FRHS what inclusion means to them. Here are some of their answers.
To me, inclusion isn't about avoiding diversity, it's embracing it. Inclusion is accepting and respecting everybody, regardless of who they are or where they come from.
Inclusion means I could go to school and learn like everybody else. I go to dance and play sport like everybody else. I can make friends like everybody else and be kind and help others like everybody else.
Inclusion means putting differences aside and creating an environment where everyone feels welcome and can collaborate.
Inclusion means that all people, regardless of their abilities, disabilities, and differences, should be appreciated, respected, and included, no matter what.
Inclusion means to me that everyone should be appreciated and valued, no matter what their abilities or their disabilities are. Everyone deserves to be appreciated in their community and in their school.
Inclusion means to me that everyone feels accepted and important. This is something that should take place not only in the school setting, but in everyday life.
There is a lot more into that video. If you would like to see the rest, we have the link to it in our comments section below, so go check it out.
Recently, I've been selected as a finalist in the Portland Comedy Film Festival.
Our own Tom Nicely is now going to be joining us live to talk about the success of Ryan's work.
We should be joined by Tom.
There he is! Tom,
Oh,
thank you for joining us here
Thanks
today,
for having me,
Tom.
guys. Thanks for having me.
How you doing today?
I am, doing good. Just woke up a couple 10 minutes ago, maybe. But
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So today we are going to be sitting down talking to you guys about the film contest that you two both entered in, and the short film that that Tim starred in and Ryan produced and filmed. And first, Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about the film contest and that you decided to enter in?
Sure. So the contest we entered in was the Portland Comedy Film Festival, which is a national film festival for all genres of comedy, dark, horror, sci-fi. But I submitted my short film and screenplay that I called The Talk Show to the categories Dark Comedy Screenplay and Dark Comedy Short Film. Unfortunately, the film wasn't selected, but I heard back earlier this month that the screenplay became a finalist, and some of the selected screenplays that were on that list were include Bob's Burgers and BoJack Horseman.
Well, that's amazing. And I know you have written many short films in your high school career. And can you tell us what this film is about?
Sure. So basically what this film was about was a talk show host brings a serial killer on as his guest to advertise his latest murder. And I wanted to show a preposterous scenario presented as normal. And my hope is that the audience understands that this is parodying what's feeling like a very dark time right now.
Yeah, that sounds like a great short film. And what led you to create the film?
So, obviously when the COVID-19 shut schools down all across the nation, realizing that my senior year of high school would be cut short, I decided to write a screenplay reflecting the outrageousness of television and advertising and our kind of desensitization to sensitive subjects. And, because of the quarantine, I'm limited in both cast and crew. So I relied mainly on dialogue to drive the story and not use special effects or crazy camera angles. But at the beginning of the script, I hoped that the reader would feel secure that this was like a typical talk show, how they have the peaceful jazz music and they're being all friendly. But as the story progressed and the discussion of the talk show host and guest became darker and more horrific, and then they just treat it like another advertisement, like it's nothing. I mean, obviously to them, it feels like it's nothing, but to a viewer, they're like, whoa. So that was kind of the emotion I was going for.
And Tim, being a part of this film and being selected for the contest, what were your feelings about being a part of something this great?
Well, the talk show was really special. It was so much fun to film. Showing up to Ryan's house, reading the script, it was a lot. I was like, oh, this is definitely something interesting. But then actually filming it and working through it, it was a blast to film. It was so funny, such a great script, such a great concept and everything. So it is really amazing to see all the success it's having. Because it's probably one of my favorite films that I've made with Ryan. So it's really amazing to see it flourish.
Now, can people see the video? If so, how?
I upload all of my movies to a website called Film Freeway, so I'll provide you with a link later on, and I can send that to you, and we'll have it below in the comments. But the another short film that we have that I was also selected for is also on YouTube, so if you want to check that out, there will also be a link down here. But we'll send those links later on.
And when will you find out the results of the contest?
Well, the results were supposed to be posted in July, but because of the coronavirus, it's been pushed back till October.
Well, that's all I have for the day. Thank you both for having me. And if you guys want to see the videos, we will put a link down in the comment section down below.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Now, if you want to go check it out, check out the links, and let's go see what sports news Anthony has for us.
Hello, I'm Anthony DeFilippo, and today I'm going to be giving another update from the world of sports. First off, I'm sure a lot of sports fans are wondering when some of their favorite teams from their favorite sports will return to action. Well, I'm here to tell you that unfortunately it will most likely not be happening until June or July. The MLB has been working on a plan that will see its return come on July 1st. But if you bought a ticket for any sports event or were planning on doing so this summer, you probably won't be able to do so. In most or close to all scenarios, no fans will be permitted to this in the stands for games. Next, I'm going to be talking about something occurring internationally. If you haven't been keeping up, the Korean Baseball Organization, or the KBO, saw its return come earlier this month on May 5th. It features 10 teams, all located in South Korea, and since the time difference is so immense, the games are broadcast on ESPN2 as early as 1 in the morning and as late as 5:30 a.m. If you're looking for your sports fix, the KBO is easy to record, just like I've been doing every morning, and you can just watch it when you wake up. Of course, there are no fans in the stands, but the home teams have put some of their fans up on the scoreboards via Zoom, so the players feel some support. Also, there are cheerleaders wearing masks there at the stadium. Everyone is required to wear a mask if they're not playing, and touching is prohibited. Instead, I've seen some teams use stuffed animals to essentially high-five the players. The NC Dinos are leading the league with a 10-1 record thus far. That's going to be it for today. If you want to stay up to date on sports, more specifically Pittsburgh sports, you can listen to my podcast, City of Bridges, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. You can follow me on Instagram at City of Bridges Podcast or on Twitter at City of Bridges P. Thanks for watching, and until next school year, stay safe and stay healthy.
During the quarantine, you may have wanted to or have been riding your bike out on the trails. But there are some things you have to do to maintain your bike in order to stay safe out on the trails. So here's what you need to know in order to maintain your bike for a safe, enjoyable ride. We'll start by looking at the tires. Tires are what keep you up off the ground and give you traction to go. If you don't have enough traction, you can lose control or fall over or have a bad accident. Also, if you see cords in the tires, that means that you've wore them down too far and it's time to change. You also want to make sure that there's good air pressure in the tires. If your tires feel really spongy, there's probably not enough air in them. You can look on the side of your tire for recommendations on how much air to put in the tires. In order to fill up your tire, what you want to do is you want to take your pump and place it on the valve and close it. That way it locks on everything. Now you pump the handle. Once you remove the pump from the valve, you take a tire pressure gauge and place it on there. You'll get a tire pressure reading. Usually we use PSI. This shows each dot is 1 PSI, so that would be 18 PSI. The higher you put in the tire, the easier the tire is going to roll on the ground. So there will be less resistance on the ground and it will be easier to move. However, if you have less air, there will be more surface contact on the ground, so you will gain a little bit more traction. This is helpful if you're riding on dirt trails and you want to lessen the pressure. It'll be a little smoother of a ride and you'll gain a little bit of traction. If you're riding on paved trails, having a little more air in the tires will help you ride faster with less resistance. Once you are finished airing up your tires, be sure to put your cap back on. The cap keeps dirt and moisture from getting into the valve and corroding it, causing a leak. Aside from the tires, brakes are also really important when you're maintaining your bike. This bike features a disc brake in the front and friction pads on the rear. The disc brake works by a caliper squeezing on a disc that is mounted to the hub of the wheel. When it squeezes, that creates friction, which slows down the spinning of the wheel, which helps you to stop. Be sure that oil or grease does not get on the disc, or else you will lose your friction power and your stopping power. Unlike the front brake on this bike, this one doesn't use a disc. It uses pads that squeeze up against the rim in order to stop the tire. Similar to the disc on the front brake, it is important that you don't get any grease or oil on the rim. This will reduce your friction and your stopping power significantly. This is the front brake lever. To make sure it is working properly, squeeze the lever and move it forwards. You'll feel it grab. If when you squeeze the lever it goes all the way to the handlebars, then your brakes need adjusting. This brake stops right about there. You want to also make sure that when you're not touching your brakes, there is no resistance in the brake. If there is, that means that there is rubbing in the pads and premature wear will occur to your brake pads. This is also the same for the back brake. You want to make sure that when you squeeze the lever it doesn't go all the way to the handlebar. This one doesn't either. Also, there is no resistance, so there shouldn't be any premature wear to the brake pads in the rear. You want to make sure for disc brakes that the disc is not bent in any way. If it is, you will feel a wobble when you apply the brakes and it can reduce your braking power. Next up, you want to check the drive chain and sprockets. On this particular bike, there are multiple sprockets on the rear and on the front. This helps you with different driving conditions when you're out on the trails. You want to inspect the teeth on the sprocket, make sure that no teeth are broken off or worn down. You also want to inspect the drive chain, that it's not rusted or it can bend easily when turned. If the chain is rusted or doesn't spin easily, then it needs replaced. And if any sprockets have broken teeth, then they need to be replaced. In order to replace the chain, you need to find the master link, or if it's a factory chain, it won't have one, so you'll need a chain breaker. I'd recommend going to a bike service shop in order to have this done. If your bike has multiple speeds, like this one, and has different sprockets, you want to make sure that this chain tensioner and selector for the rear sprockets is putting tension on the chain. The spring in the mechanism should put tension on the chain, and if you press up on it a little bit on the bottom, you can feel that there's tension on it. Also, when you use the selector to select the rear sprocket, this tensioner right here moves in and out. That is what guides the chain onto the different sprockets. And for up front, when you move the front sprocket selector, this guide here is what guides the chain onto the different sprockets. If your bike has multiple speeds like this bike and something's not working properly, I recommend taking it to a bike service shop in order to have it looked at. Now that we have finished checking over the bike, you're in good shape to go ride. Be sure to do this every time you ride, because if something fails, it can cause an accident and serious injury. That's all we have for you today. Enjoy the ride and stay safe.
Now that parts of Pennsylvania have begun opening back up, many people are ready to go out and do more. Our own Braden O'Brien explains what is starting up in our own area.
Westmoreland County has been the red code for many weeks and just switched to the yellow code on May 15th, 2020. And 13 counties have recently opened up. With the yellow code, there were restrictions on work and social interactions. 37 counties are in the yellow phase. Anything that can operate online will remain to operate online, such as schools. Schools will remain closed and prison restrictions will remain in place. Large gatherings of more than 25 are prohibited. Indoor recreation, health and wellness facilities, personal care services, and all entertainment is closed down. Restaurants and bars are limited to carry-out and delivery. The purpose of all these closings is to maintain the safety of the citizens of Westmoreland County.
Thanks, Braden.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day you've all been waiting for.
Here is Fun Friday.
Everybody, and welcome back to Fun Friday Quarantine Edition. This week we are having a game show. It's Are You Smarter Than a Sixth Grader? Our sixth grader this week is Tyler Quinn, and the person he's trying to be smarter than is Thomas Nicely. Boys, introduce yourself. Tyler first.
Hi, my name is Tyler Quinn, and I'm a sixth grader. Today I'm going to be trying to take home the award.
There is no award.
Well,
that's okay. Tom, you next here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I have over quarantine started cooking.
Moving on here, we're going to get into our first round of questions. Thomas Nicely, we'll go to you first. All right, so let's get into our first round of questions. Thomas Nicely, to you first. We surveyed 100 people. Name 3-star constellations.
Leo the Lion, Orion, and
oh, that's quite unfortunate. Didn't get there. We're gonna move on now. What color is a banana? Sent in by Anthony S. Thank you, Anthony S. What color is a banana?
I'm gonna have to say yellow.
And go to our judges. And we get the thumbs up! Tyler Quinn with 1 point. It is the first of 5 points. Tyler Quinn with 1 point after the round. Round 2. Thomas Nicely, question to you. Name one city in Kazakhstan. 3 seconds. Oh, that's unfortunate. Didn't quite get the answer we wanted. Tyler Quinn, next question. Sent in by Jesse S. What state are you currently in?
I'm gonna have to say Pennsylvania.
Judges. Correct! Oh my goodness. 2 for 2. Tom, don't worry. You still got time to catch up. Next question to you, Tom. Sent in by Macy B. Name the doctor that invented the rabies vaccine.
Doctor? Who?
I was asking you. Apparently he thinks it's laughter. Dr. Laughter. Incorrect. Very sorry, Tom. Moving on now. Tyler Quinn for the 3rd point. In the film Back to the Future, where do they go back to?
I'm gonna have to say the future.
Judges. Correct! Oh, man! Getting spanked, son. We're going to go now to round 4, which is a very special round because it is Finish the Quote. Tom, finish the quote. Pay no attention to the man behind the, is it A, door, B, window, C, curtain, or B, chihuahua? Window. Judges. Ah, incorrect. 0 for 4, Tom. Of course, the correct answer was curtain from the movie The Wizard of Oz. Alrighty, Tyler. To you for your 4th point. Finish the quote. Bears beats. Is it A, Battlestar, B, Galactica, C, Battlestar Galactica, or D, John Cena?
I'm gonna have to say C, Battlestar Galactica.
Judges, correct! Bears beats Battlestar Galactica from The Office. Very well done. 1 point away from victory, Tom. There is still time to come back in this one, although it is very doubtful, folks.
I think this game's rigged, Tim.
Perfect. Going into your question 5, spell rigged in Latin.
Latin's technically not a language.
How do you spell it?
Latin. L-A-T-I-N.
Ha! Unfortunately, you didn't spell it. Incorrect. We're going to go over to Tyler now. Tyler, for the win. Question sent in by Robin S. Thank you, Robin S. Can you name Luke Skywalker's father? Is it A, Dark Batter, B, Michael Scarn, D, Jim Halpert, or W, Darth Vader?
You know, I watched those when I was a kid.
As did many.
And now, I say, it's W.
W, Darth Vader. Judges, we're getting the yes! Tyler Quinn, 5 for 5, a clean sweep over Thomas nicely. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Quinn. Tom, we found out here today that you are not smarter than a 6th grader. How do you feel?
I don't really know.
I don't know how you should feel either. It's kind of embarrassing. But, thank you all for joining us. Have a very safe and healthy summer break.
Let us know what you thought about Fun Friday right now in the live chat here. Here, I don't know how this works. Tim, end it off. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you give all your praise about Fun Friday through the year to Ryan Lucht. He has been the main editor, the big guy behind everything. I could not have done anything about Fun Friday if it were not for Ryan Lucht. So thank you so much, Ryan.
No problem, Tim. Thank you so much.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that's it. That's the final episode of FRHSTV at Home. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been so much fun doing this, and I can't thank you guys so enough. This has just been such a great time, even in a weird time like this. I'm just improvising a little bit right now, but I really appreciate everything you guys have done, and I can't wait to see you guys in the future.
That's all right. For now, I've been Timothy J. Quinn. The J this week stands for no J at all. It stands for thank you. Thank you for your continued support of FRHSTV at Home. It's been our pleasure to bring you the news every week, and we thank you for joining us. Stay safe and have a great summer.